Just initially, your reflections, please, on the tribunal yesterday.
I am devastated. I just don't know what to say. The statement that Carol Kitching has just said, that it was the way that I harassed and discriminated against student A, is nonsense. And I'd like to think I demonstrated that in the hearing. There was one conversation I had with student A. That was at the end of a class when she was considering entering a girls' maths competition, and I was encouraging her to do the competition. She got very emotional. I said, "Is it your decision to transition that's upsetting you?" "Yes," she said. And I explained to her the risks associated with it as best as I possibly could. And she went away and said she'd think about it. And then she entered the girls' competition. So I thought, well, she had thought about it. Maybe she concluded that she was a girl after all and didn't need to be a boy. And nothing much then happened. And then in January, so this first conversation with student A was in September. Then in January, her friend, student B, stays behind after class and demands and instructs me that I need to refer to student A as a male. And then I tried to explain to her, why I thought that was a bad idea, and why she should maybe try and help and be a friend and with a critical friend rather than just a kind friend, to be a critical friend. And I tried to give a reason to why I thought it was the idea of transitioning is a bad idea. And that's the only two conversations I had. The conversation I had with student B, that 5-minute conversation at the end of the class where she instructed me how to behave, and basically the only instruction I had to use incorrect pronouns was from student B. That was the sole thing that was used to support the claim of discrimination and harassment.
So, Kevin, apparently you wrote the students what they call their dead name, their previous gendered name, on a whiteboard, and that was one of the pivotal moments that I understand, correct me if I'm wrong, that you lost the tribunal.
Yeah, that's right. And so, I'm trying to encourage the girls in the class to enter this maths competition, and I write the girls' names down. And to be quite frank, it was about a week and a half after she'd asked. I mean,
did you know you were writing the previous name, or were you doing it deliberately to make a point?
I didn't do it deliberately to make a point. It's just I'm writing girls' names to go up in a girls' maths competition. I'd raised a safeguarding concern, and I'd asked, did we have parental consent before we supported this social transition? The only response I got from safeguarding is the college policy is not to tell the parents.
So you're just to be clear, when a teacher raises a safeguarding concern, it can be that there's concerns about the home life of that child, maybe that they're at risk somehow. Your concern in that situation was that the parents might be being kept in the dark about this pupil's decision.
Correct. Yeah. And I didn't want to go and support that social transition. The safeguarding asked three things. It asked, was there parental consent? Was she making an informed decision? And was she at risk of self-medicating with cross-sex hormones, which are easily available online now? And so the college response was, our policy is not to tell parents. They couldn't answer question 2, couldn't answer question 3. They gave me no guidance at all, zero. So I was basically supposed to go into the class and make up my own rules as to what I was supposed to do.
Kevin, you taught there for 18 years at New College in Swindon. Could you think of any other... Sorry,
just to correct that, so I've been at New College Swindon for just over a year at that point. I'd taught previously. So I've been teaching maths for 18 years. So I was relatively new to New College Swindon. And I wasn't at all aware of this completely trans-affirmative culture and policy that was, they were way more extreme than ever I had expected.
Could you think of any other instances in which you might raise a concern about a child and the discussion is that you don't tell the parents?
I can't. No.
See, that's the bit...
In the safeguarding policy of the college, one of the things was to engage with the parents. It's just beyond me that we can have something like that. The other thing that I said as well in the safeguarding concern was, in light of the Kira Bell case, then we need to be very careful. And in the Keira Bell case, one of the things that it said was that the transitioning is basically experimental medication. There is no evidence and science behind it at all. And that was one of the things that I brought out in the hearing, that it is a non-evidence-based ideological precedent which has caused and can cause serious harm.
What does this mean for you now, Kevin? Where are you left professionally, personally, emotionally?
So the college referred me to the DBS, and the DBS put me on the children's barred list. So I can't teach again ever in the rest of my life. I can't drive a van for Tesco's. But one of the things that I did was to get my van driving qualification. But then a lot of the delivery companies actually require DBS clearance. So
Goodness me.
Just I couldn't do.
We're slightly running out of time, but wouldn't it? I'm just thinking now. Do you regret this? Would it have just been easier to say, yeah, whatever? I don't mind if you want to be a boy, a girl, or a cat. I'll go with it.
No, don't regret this at all. I would do the same thing. I would put safeguarding first. What has happened is we have allowed the Equality Act and any ideology to completely usurp our obligations to safeguarding and to ensure safe spaces for children. The whole thing has now become become upside down.